All right, my name is Brett Lesperance. I'm the Director of Client Relations for Tribe Title in Brighton, Michigan, and I am here with Sakura Bals. Sakura. I knew I was going to screw that up, and I was just going to say the hardest name in real estate, because the last name I'm always like, is it Bales? Is it
Balls? Yeah,
so
right.
it's Bales. Sakura Bals, and I should remember that because it sounds like soccer, and I know you're a big soccer player.
Oh, yeah. Been playing soccer since I was 4 years old.
That's crazy. Do you still play?
So after college, so I played collegiately, and then I decided to do co-ed just with some friends. And then I did semi-pro for a little bit, but now with real estate and coaching, I don't play as much as I used to.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I've known you for, I guess, almost a year now, because you and I actually went through real estate class together.
Yeah, I would say a year is coming up. We started taking the class, I believe, in before October.
August, because
yeah,
I remember
August.
it was, I remember thinking we're starting in summer, and I was sad about it, because I'm like, by the time I'm done with this, it'll be fall.
Yep.
But then it got pushed because of COVID. So then I think we ended up ending in like middle of October.
Yeah, because I remember I took the test October 18th.
Okay.
And that's the day I passed. So I remember that day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So I wanted to have you on to talk about a lot of stuff, but more or less to give you a chance to showcase yourself. I know you're very new to real estate, but you're not new to sales per se. What did you do before real estate?
So before real estate, I actually had multiple jobs. So coming out of college, I worked at an insurance brokerage. I worked at Capnick Insurance Group. I did home, auto, boat.
Okay.
But, insurance isn't the most sexiest thing, but it definitely taught me the background of sales.
Right.
But going before that, I worked at Papa John's. I worked at a convenience store. And then actually 3 years before that, I did a lot of handyman work. So staining decks, building decks, doing a lot of landscaping, doing flooring. So I've just grown up doing all sorts of things.
Right. That's very cool. Yeah, no, that's similar to me. I had an insurance agency in Arizona, so I can speak to that. It is not a sexy business.
No, it's not.
And it's brutal. The commissions aren't great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're selling and selling and selling, and you don't reap a lot of reward. Do you find yourself excited about real estate based on, obviously, it's more exciting to you for a lot of aspects, but what is your favorite part about it?
Oh, geez. I think my favorite part about real estate is building the relationship with clients. And I wouldn't even call them clients by the end. I would honestly say we become friends. And I think that's the most exciting part, is building that friendship throughout and seeing how much they rely on you and how much they actually listen to you, and to see them either get into their new home or, sell their home that they've always grown up in. It's really rewarding to see.
Right. That's awesome. And then growing up, obviously, I don't want to name drop too much, but you grew up in a house. Your father's in mortgage business, and he's had quite a bit of success doing that. Do you think that kind of steered you into your current profession?
I think it did a little bit. So, my father's been in the lending business for 20 plus years. So growing up in my family, we were always around that, whether it was at the dinner table, the soccer field, the backyard. We always heard that conversation going on. So I think eventually, in the long run, we were bound to somehow end up, maybe not in the lending business, but some sort of realm of it.
Yeah.
And I think after college, after a couple years, I finally started to gravitate towards that area and thought, why not give it a chance? Why not take that leap of faith and see what happens?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice, too, because, I mean, I'm sure you see he works his tail off, but you also see the reward side of it. I mean, I'm sure you guys had a pretty good life growing up, and so obviously financially, there's resources there. It's a tangible field to get into.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, growing up, now financially, we are very well put as a family. But growing up, I saw the back end of the grind. It wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always pretty. We didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
But to see, my dad take that risk from going to a salary and then jumping into a full commission, there was a lot of grind in the background. So, as a young kid, me and my brothers, we realized everything that we had to do. I saw my dad going out there in the morning doing flyers. I mean, 20 years ago, flyers going door to door. And so there's a lot of grind behind the success of what everybody wants, that financial reward in real estate. But there's so much that goes behind that.
Absolutely.
That you have to, put the work in.
Yeah, that's awesome, though, that you guys got to see that firsthand. So know it's not, it'd be different if he was already ultra successful. You were born and you thought like, oh, this is just a business I can get into and make a ton of money. Whereas you guys actually got to see that it takes a lot to grow your pipeline and to get to where he was.
And I think that it doesn't go, specifically just real estate or mortgages. I think growing up, it was, you can do whatever task we were given, whatever job, whatever career we were told, you do whatever it is to excel in that.
Right.
So whether that was doing landscaping in the backyard, we're going to excel in that. We're going to do that 100%. Right. Working at a pizza place, I'm going to make the best pizza with whatever I have. Soccer, I wasn't on a high travel team. I wasn't on the most expensive team, but every year I worked towards excelling to be the best, and then moving up to the next level and the next level, and then earning my spot in college, earning my spot on the starting team. And so that just shows that I'm confident that in whatever I do, whether it's real estate, coaching, insurance, landscaping, that I will excel. I will figure out how to excel in that industry.
Yeah, that's huge. I think it's work ethic, and that probably, develops at home.
Yep.
The really cool thing is too, I notice a lot, I kind of, I'm lucky enough to get to watch a lot of agents, and I see kind of these things that I see from the sideline watching you guys, and I can kind of tell who's going to succeed. And you're one that I saw, you came in, you're very young, very new to it. And without a doubt, there was no doubt in my mind that you were going to do well because you had that work ethic. And then I watch you come in every day you grind. And there was no hesitation. There wasn't any like second thought, any questioning. You just fully committed and started rocking it. And hopefully it's starting to pay off for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, like every day there's days where I feel lost. There's days where it's like, gosh, is this what I really want to do, or am I supposed to be doing? And I think it's okay to have those doubts. Yeah. But if you consistently show up, I am seeing reward, right? Maybe it's not instant. I learned that it's very delayed gratification, but I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. And even your dad, back to that, he still grinds. I mean, I notice he's always working. He's always there. He's always present. So, I mean, it's one of those things you just can't let off the gas.
Yeah, you have to. I always tell this to my parents. You have to always train like you're in second place to stay first.
Right. Yeah, I like that. So I always said, well, I didn't say it. It's actually a saying from boot camp. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in war. Yep. So you just train, and then hopefully all that becomes second nature and muscle memory, and you just keep doing it.
Yeah, we don't show up to the game, playing how we play just by showing up. It's all the, early mornings, after practices, putting in the extra reps. So same with real estate, showing up to work early, doing the everyday things that people don't want to do, and just do those consistently.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that, I know you were very competitive in soccer. Do you think that you became, or I shouldn't say became competitive, but you were so competitive because you had that work ethic going into that?
I think so. I mean, growing up in sports, I actually hated losing more than I love winning. Yeah. So I think with any job I ever had, that competitiveness just transferred. Right. So even in real estate, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all about your business, and you let your numbers speak for yourself. But I'm a very competitive person, and, I want to be that agent in Livingston County that people come to. Right. Not just because of the numbers, but I just want people to know, like, hey, that's the girl I want to go to help, buy my house, sell my house, or help a family member or a friend. Right. And that's what I mean by competition. I want to be the person.
Right. I noticed too when you said you want to make them all friends, which is really cool because that's one of the biggest things. It seems like in every statistic you hear about, it's the drop off is why did these people not go back to that agent again? And it's because they forgot about them, or a majority of them are no longer in the business. But I noticed, like you said, if you make them your friend and you continue to be in their life, it's very hard to forget that you're there.
Yep, you create that loyalty bond with them. And at the end of the day, everybody has a reason of why they're in real estate. And mine is kind of with my brothers is to leave a legacy behind, because, life is about moments of impact. So every time you have a new client, you want to make a moment that they're going to remember and leave that legacy behind and have them share that moment with other people and leave that moment behind. And now you're just building a legacy in itself. Right.
And it's a very organic, referral-based business. The cool thing is, too, that then they see, okay, you reached out to me throughout all these times. You remained a friend. It wasn't just for the paycheck.
Yep.
So then it's not like when they go to sell again, then you reach out to them. It's you keep yourself present all the time.
Exactly. Money is a byproduct. Money will never, ever, bring happiness. Right. Money is just a byproduct of anything we do. So find something that you like. And most people truly do like helping people. So stick with that, and the money will just be a byproduct.
Right. No, that's a great way of thinking about it. On the subject of money, so this is what I always kind of ask people. Everybody kind of measures success differently. To some people it is tangible things, cars, houses, bank accounts. But to other people, it may be, making enough money to just have the time to do what they want. What's your kind of measure of success?
My measure of success, I would have to say, is how well I impact people. How well did I influence them? And I've always want to make a positive impact. So to me, when I can say I'm successful is when I have impacted a lot of people for the better. Right.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Because like you said, if you do that and it's genuine, the numbers are going to follow.
And, like I said, money can't buy happiness. Right. And you could give people money that might make them happy, but there's so many things that we can do outside of money that people will remember forever.
Yeah, exactly. Like I always say, money doesn't buy happiness. Money buys options.
Yep.
Options give you happiness.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very cool. I heard a story the other day. I have to ask you about it. So I heard when you started wanting tattoos.
Oh God, tattoos.
They were very against it.
Yeah.
And I heard to get your first tattoo, they actually made you a deal that they didn't think you'd be able to do.
Yep.
And you did it, and that's how you got your first tattoo.
Yeah, so actually my first tattoo, I got when I was 16, and I begged and I begged and I got it. But then they say once you get one tattoo, you're going to get another. And I really wanted one on my shoulder. Yeah. And at the time, I didn't have much money, so I was on the Olympic development program for soccer, and we went all the way out to Rockford, Illinois. And it was a series of about 5 or 6 games against some of the top people in the region. And my parents said, if you manage to score in every game out of the 6, we will pay for your tattoo. And so that whole weekend I'm playing the game, and once I got in the zone, I totally forgot about it. Yeah. But at the end of game 6, my teammates are all cheering, and I'm like, why is everyone there? I'm like, oh my gosh, I scored in every single game.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Getting the tattoo. So I think, my parents are like, I don't think you could do it. So when someone tells me I can't do it, it makes me want to do everything I can to prove people wrong.
Right. That's incredible, because that's a very high level of playing too. So that's statistically, they were probably taking the safe bet.
Oh yeah, they were taking the safest bet. They knew. They knew. They're like, there's no way we can make this bet. But to me, that drew a fire in me to be like, no, like I can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I mean, if you can do that, I'd imagine you can do anything you set your mind to.
Like I said, it's all about mindset. If you set your mind and you tell yourself every day, you'll be able to do it.
Yeah. I like what you said, too, about you don't like winning as much as you hate losing.
Yeah.
Which is cool to me, because that way you're probably a very humble winner. You're not the winner that goes out there and gloats. You just win because you don't want to lose.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If I lose, you'll probably hear more about that. And some people might say, oh, you're such a sore loser. It's just I take it to heart, because I want to be the best in anything I do. Right. We could be playing flip cup here, and I'd be like, no, I got to be the best at it. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's my wife and I go back and forth about that all the time, because that's how even with the kids, sometimes I have to back off, because I'm like, I don't like losing, even if it's to a 7-year-old. But part of parenting, I have to kind of dial it back a little bit and get out of my own head. But as far as the business goes, so now are you on a team, or are you a solo agent?
No, I am a solo agent.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you see yourself ever being on a team?
I think eventually, I mean, I've just grown up in a team atmosphere so all my life. So to be solo, it is a little different. But then again, I love the fact of owning your own business, building your own business. And I talk about leaving a legacy a lot. So if I were to ever, I guess, join a team, I think it'd be more of creating a team.
Yeah.
And just creating a team atmosphere where it's all about mentorship. It's not about the money the team is producing. It's about building a team underneath you that now those team members can go and impact other people in the county.
Right. No, that's huge. And that's what a lot of the people that I talk to that have teams, that seems to be their mindset. It's never like, oh, I want to build a team so I can make more money. It's always, I want to build a team so that I can help people achieve their goals. And like you said, money's a byproduct. So you're going to eventually see the rewards of it, but your heart has to be in the right place and you're helping people for the right reason.
Yeah, I think mentorship is the biggest thing. I think when I first started, I had a couple of good mentors, and I think that's why I'm where I'm at, because of the mentorship.
Right.
I think that's such a key part of any business when you're trying to start your own business or run your own business. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you have to figure out on your own, but there's nothing wrong with going to the best of the best and just getting little nuggets from each and then kind of creating your own, I guess, idea from it.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that that's a huge benefit? Like, that's, to me, one of the benefits of Keller Williams is the fact that even though you are a solo agent, you're never truly alone. They have, it's almost like you're on a team within the building itself. Oh
yeah. And there's a few people I go to at Keller Williams that I'm like, I love learning from them. So I'll take a nugget from them and then go take another nugget from somebody else. And I put everything I learned from them and be like, what do I like and what do I not like? And then go from there. And even, like everyone knows, my father grew up in the lending business, so he knew a lot of people. So I try to see, okay, who are the successful people? What are they doing? And I go talk to them. It's kind of like I interview all of them and be like, what are your struggles and what are the things that make you successful?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And they say it's like a room, with one room's warm, one room's cold. If you open the door, they're going to kind of regulate, they're going to become one temperature. And they say it's very similar with people. Like, if you hang around with your group, let's say it's you and 6 millionaires. Yeah. By nature and by whatever you call it, homeostasis, chances are you will probably become a millionaire. You pick up those characteristics and those traits of those people and that success, and you have a better chance of succeeding yourself.
And that's what they say, you're a product of your environment. And it's funny that you use the number 6, because statistically you are the 6 people you surround yourself with the most. Yeah. So I think that's another important thing, is be very wise of who you surround yourself with. And growing up, I was very close with my family, so I have to give credit to both my brothers, my dad, and especially my mom. My mom is the anchor of the ship.
That's what I've heard.
She's the reason why my dad is successful. Yeah. And I'm sure he would say the same.
Yeah, no, he's said it a couple of times. That's awesome. Yeah. Does your mom work, or is that pretty much what she's been doing? Is she's kind of just the coach, making sure everybody's where they need to be? Yeah, she's always been a stay-home mom. But I mean, that in itself, everybody knows, is a full-time job plus more. Yeah. But she's always been the person to keep us all grounded. And we grew up with tough love. And so that's something that, I can never thank her enough for just giving us super, super tough love, because you need tough skin in this world. Yeah. And definitely developed that growing up. Do you think that was from her childhood? She's from Japan, right?
Yep. I think that's just a cultural thing. Yeah. I think in Japan it is all tough love. So when she came over here growing up, between the parenting, between my dad and my mom, they just went the tough love route. Yeah. So growing up, there was some tough love for sure. Right. Yeah. That's cool though. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to kind of get outside of it to really appreciate it. Once you grow up and you look back and you realize, like, oh wow, they were really looking out for my best interest. Oh yeah. They made me tough going into the world. I mean, there's always hurdles that I have to face that maybe not everybody has to face every day. So if we both started at the same starting line, I would probably have 10 more hurdles than someone who can just run straight to the finish line.
Right.
But I really wouldn't want it any other way, because if it's taught me that I have to work that much harder, grind that much harder, do that much more to get there.
Yeah. Embrace the suck.
Oh yeah. Embrace the suck. I like that. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what carves you out and makes you who you are.
Yeah.
Very cool. So now, as far as not being on a team, eventually maybe starting your own team, I have to ask, how come you never ended up, or maybe you did, think about going down the path of mortgages?
To be honest, I was like, that would be way too close to my dad. And honestly, if I were to start, it would probably be in his office. But with mortgages, it's more about numbers. Yeah. And for me, I was pretty decent at numbers, but I wanted more that was more relationship-based, networking, talking to people. And most people will say being a real estate agent, you're like a therapist.
Right.
But truly, I don't mind listening to people's problems. Yeah. Because a lot of the times people will dump on you without even knowing, but I genuinely like to listen and kind of help them navigate through that.
Right.
So that's why I really didn't go the mortgage route, and I went more of the real estate route.
So you love more the people and the relationship building.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. That's that is one of the tough things about mortgages. It's like they do. I mean, they dig into stuff, so they know a lot of personal information. But I feel like you're right. It's usually over a phone. There's never really any face to face, and they're not really out there with them, like watching it. It's kind of stinks because they secure the money for them, but they don't get the reward of watching. The look on their face when they see that house that's the one that fits.
Yep. And, it's going to be cool because my brother, Kazi, he just recently joined my dad's team over at USA Mortgage. Yeah. And I'm really excited for him to start because I will be working with him a lot. So it's kind of cool to have that family business together and using his strong assets and my strong assets and be able to create a team. Right. So even though I am a solo agent, I still feel like I'm a part of a team. Yeah. You have the clients, the agent, the lender. Right. Yeah. You're building your own team. Yep. That's cool. You're gonna have to get your younger brother into title work. I know. He was thinking, he's like, I don't know what I want to be. And he's like, I'll just be the hitman. So when people don't pay, I'm like, no, that's not how the real world works. Right. Collection agent. Right. That's awesome. Yeah. So now you're one of three, correct? Yep. So I'm the oldest, and then I have two younger brothers. One just graduated college, which is joining the mortgage industry, and one that just graduated high school. And he will be going, I believe, to Cleary. Nice. Yep. Yeah, very cool. That's got to be a big measure of success for your parents, too. I think so, yeah. 3 kids. They all made it through high school. They're all going into college. Nowadays that's quite an accomplishment. Yeah. And it was funny because when I graduated high school, I actually never wanted to go to college. I was not good at school. I was really bad at test taking, and I didn't know what I really wanted to go into, but I knew I still wanted to play soccer. Right. So that's why I went to college and played. And then, to be honest, even outside of college, I'm like, I still don't know what I want to do, but I know I want to do something with people. Yeah. That's all I knew. And the cool thing is with this, it gives you the flexibility of where, I mean, you are your own boss. So it's obviously you need to grind every day, and that's kind of built into your DNA. But it gives you the flexibility where you don't have to, schedule time off, or if you want to take off early because you have something to do or somebody you want to go see, you can do that. Exactly. And I think real estate gave me the opportunity to also give back to the community with my coaching. So I coach at the Legacy Center. Yeah. I coach 2 girls team, and I mean, I love that. So I'll go from real estate working 8 to 10 hours, and then I'll go with my kids anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, just coaching and training them. And that to me is not even a job at that point. It's fun. It's a release from the craziness that real estate can sometimes bring. Yeah. I was listening to, what was the big soccer tournament that just happened? Was that the European Cup? Yep. With England. Yeah. Yes. It was crazy because I was listening to some of the women talk, and I didn't realize that in Europe, for a long time, they tried to steer women out of soccer, which was really bizarre to me because I know it's pretty big in the U.S. for women. Yeah. And to me, I thought, like, being Europe, that would be huge.
But they were saying it was very oppressive, and they had for a long time tried steering them out of it. So this was like a huge win for them.
It was a really big win. Yeah, I was happy to see that for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you watch a lot of it?
I did not watch it, but I did watch a lot of the highlights on social media. But no, I didn't get the time to actually sit down and watch the game.
I always do that too with like the World Cup. I'll watch like towards the end, like the final games. Then I'm like, all right, I'm in. I can't watch all the lead up to it.
It's a lot of games for the World Cup.
That's cool. So now, when you were on this Olympic development team, is that what it sounds like? Like it's basically teams that they're looking for candidates to pull to the Olympic team?
Yep. So they start at a really young age. I mean, now they even start younger, which to me it's absolutely crazy. But I joined, I think, right before going into high school.
Okay.
So how it works is anybody can try out in the age group. And they have one big tryout, and I mean, it's hundreds of girls, and you're wearing bibs, and you're just known by a number,
right.
Not even a name, a number, not even, they don't know what club you came from. It's just your number. And then you try out for a whole weekend.
Oh, wow.
And then they make a state team. So these are all girls from Michigan that come to this one location, try out. I made the Michigan team. And then from there, you go to regionals where you compete against other states. So we were like the Midwest region. So it's Michigan versus Ohio, Illinois, Indiana. And then from there, you play a bunch of games, you practice, and then they select a national team. So then I made it to the national team, which I went down to Boca Raton, or the regional team, I'm sorry. Yeah. They select a regional team to be on the Midwest. I went down to Boca Raton and represented the Midwest and played against other areas of the country for them to select a national team. And then I was cut. I was like 11 away from the national team.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty intense, and I knew nobody. Yeah. Right. I came from a very, very small club, not a big, name club, how it is now, but came from a small club, didn't know anybody. So that was another thing. It's like, wow, I don't know anybody, and I got to perform. I don't know any of these coaches, and you got to figure out how you can, bring the chemistry with the other girls. Yeah. Because think about it, these are people you just met, and now you have to go play a match. Right.
And a lot of it's knowing, especially with soccer, it's knowing what they're going to do and knowing how to read the other players on the field.
Yeah. You have to be quick to understand, okay, this player likes it like this, or vice versa. So it's quick on the spot.
Yeah. Well, that has to lend itself well to business too, I would imagine, because you learn to be very adaptive quickly.
Yeah. Adaptable and learning how to work under pressure. And for me, my whole life, I've always grown up with like working around pressure or chaos. So I think translating to real estate world, everyone's like, it's chaotic. I'm like, dude, this is normal. Yeah. Like, I like this. When things are very calm, I'm like waiting for something else to happen. So I love the chaos. And, they say some of the best things come from pressure. Think about diamonds, right? Diamonds are made from pressure.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. And coming from insurance, especially, I mean, insurance is as boring as it gets.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Especially if luckily I had my own agency, so I could kind of come and go.
That's sweet.
And I tried doing that outside of that. When I moved from Arizona to here, I had to sell it because there was the company that I wrote for wasn't in Michigan. Okay. So I tried doing it for somebody else here, and it was brutal. I couldn't even do it. I mean, you're sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, on the phone, trying to sell something against something that's the exact same. I mean, it's oranges to oranges.
Oh yeah. And that's the hard part. Is I remember I did a lot of cold calling, right? My internship there, they were like, do cold calling. I'm like, okay, I'm up for the challenge, and just call after call after call. But then I realized it was so hard to sell something that's not tangible. You're trying to sell something that hasn't even happened yet. Right. But it's to help protect you from your worst day, to give them that peace of mind. But to me, that was very hard to get across to people. And, Capnick Insurance, I mean, they're a great brokerage. I really like them. But to me, it just wasn't the right fit for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's a boring business. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way around it.
I think everyone would say that.
Yeah. The only thing I liked was life insurance. Okay. Because that was the only one to me that I'm like, this is a very inexpensive product that there's no way around it. You're going to use this.
Yeah, you're going to end up dying.
Yes, right? there's no way you can avoid that. Like, this is a guaranteed payout. You just have to invest in it now.
Yeah.
which so many people don't have life insurance, which is crazy to me.
Which is crazy because I think I don't know who I talked to, but they said if I were to get life insurance right now, I'd be paying like just $20 a month.
Yes.
Or even less than that, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. You want it when you're young because you lock in that rate, and then it carries with you for, depending on the life insurance, but it carries with you, which I see the way they tie in. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet, but I feel like there should be a huge tie-in between mortgages, real estate, and life insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Because when these people get this mortgage, a lot of times they're first-time home buyers. They're young. They're starting a family. If something happens to one of them, what happens to the home? What happens to this mortgage, this major investment they had, if they don't have a plan in place to protect that? They get car insurance for something that happens to their car, homeowners insurance for if the house burns down. But if somebody in the home dies, they're kind of stuck, and they may end up losing the home and the environment that they raised their kids in.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. You should propose that.
All right. That'll be another subject.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. So where do you see yourself going in, let's say, 2 years from now? What's your plan?
Well, 2 years, I still see myself in real estate. I don't know if 2 years I'll have a team or not. I mean, like a year has gone. It hasn't even been a year yet. So when I started, it was January. So I'm almost on month 8.
Right.
But for me, if you asked me back in January if I would be here now, I'd be like, heck no. I didn't even think I'd be as far as I am now. So I don't even want to cap myself where I'm going to be in 2 years. But I still see myself in real estate. I don't know if I'll have a team or be on the team yet.
Yeah.
But, 2 years is going to come before,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, from what I see, I think you'll do great, because I watched you. You're one of the few consistent people that show up every single day, and you're there to work. A lot of people confuse time there with effort.
Yeah.
And you don't seem to mix those two up. You understand that if you're there doing something that's going to produce a result. Exactly.
And, you don't have to be there 8 hours. It's not a 9 to 5 job. Right. But if you think of any business anybody's ever started or created, for example, think of McDonald's, right? When they first started, they made it as a 9 to 5, or now they're 24/7. But any successful business you think of, they operate it like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I think when you first start out, it's really important that, there could be days off where I don't have to do anything. But if I get in the mindset of I need to operate this like a 9 to 5, then I set up those fundamentals. And then you start to learn, okay, maybe you can do 8 hours of work in 4 hours.
Right.
And then so I'll do that. And if I'm not at the office, I'm definitely doing something else, being creative with marketing, social media. How can I put my name out there?
Right. Yeah. They say, like, what is that? The 8 by 8 that Bill Maniaci was talking about last week, where it's just like 8 touches on social media before 8 o'clock, which is something that even if you are taking a week vacation, everybody kind of wakes up, looks at their phone, scrolls through social media.
We're just all on our phones.
Do those little things even on your days off that got you some kind of results.
Exactly. It's staying top of mind. So the $1 Million Real Estate Agent book that everybody says they read, but they should thoroughly read it, 2, 3, 4 times a year. But they talk about the 8 by 8, the 33 touches, and then the 12 touches.
Yeah.
And if you just stick with the fundamentals and the blueprint that they gave you, there's not much that we need to change around. We're given something. Right. Maybe you can tweak it here and there, but you follow that layout and you follow it consistently, you can be successful.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like the map's there. Mm-hmm. You can either follow it and get to your destination, or you can try to make your own map, and you may still get to your destination, but it might take you a lot longer.
Exactly.
Why not just follow the map and get there?
They have a map that say, hey, here's how you be successful.
Yeah.
It's just doing it. And I know it sounds easy, but, if it was easy, everyone would be successful.
Right. And that's what I love about Keller Williams. It seems like that's, especially this office, it seems like everybody's really in touch with the best agents in those offices you can go and talk to. They don't have egos. They're very humble, and they're very willing to share their time, which is a huge asset to any younger agent.
Oh, yeah. It's just having someone to look up to. And I said that you can mimic their models.
Yes. And learn what you don't like about it and change that.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, I thank you for coming on. I know you're going to have a ton of success. I can sense it.
Thank you.
And is there anything you want to share on here before we go, as far as how does somebody get a hold of you if they're interested in real estate?
Yeah, if you guys want to get a hold of me, my number is 517-375-3557. I know a lot of 3, 5s, and 7s, so it's a pretty easy number to memorize. And then you guys can go to my website at sakurabals.com. And you can reach me at my email at sakurabals.com.
Sakura, like soccer.
Sakura, like soccer.
Not Sakura.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll share all your social medias at the bottom of the screen also if anybody's interested.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you, Brett.
All right, thanks.